Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode from the Copilot Chronicle series. My name is Rashmita, and I am the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. I'm here today joined by our very own host Kamal and our special guest speaker Sujithkumar. But before we start the session, I would request you all to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section is open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. Our speaker will answer all your questions during the session, so please feel free to drop all your questions in the chat section. With this, let me bring in Kamal into the stream and thank you all once again for joining and enjoy the session. Over to you, Kamal.
Hey Rashmita, thank you so much. Welcome again to another live show of Copilot Chronicles. Hope everybody's doing great. Before I jump into the session or talk about today's guest, I have a very exciting news that I wanted to share. A couple of months back, we had launched Global Copilot Summit in 16 plus cities in person, and we had this overwhelming response. We had more than 2,500 attendees in person. Again, to mention that we kind of exposed what Copilot is, how extensibility of Copilot works. So again, we are kickstarting a new season called the Copilot Developer Camp, but this time it's going to be purely hands-on lab. I'm sure Rashmita will be pasting the link where you can find all the details. And this time it's going to be happening in 30 plus cities. And again, it's going to be in person. So kickstarting October 2nd is in Sao Paulo. We're going to start from the Mexico side, Latin America. And we have a lot of cities in pipeline like Paris, Berlin, Rome, Oslo, coming to the Asia side, Singapore, Bangalore, Chennai. So we'll be covering a lot of places and stay tuned for a lot of updates that we have. If you really want to know what this camp is all about, it's going to be the extension of Global Copilot Summit, where we're going to tell you how to extend Copilot for M365 with two awesome lab sessions like building your own agent or extend M365 Copilot. So this is going to be purely hands-on lab session. Again, let me repeat it. It's not going to be session based. So if you're present in any of the cities, we'll let you know how you could register it, how you could be a part of it, and get the most use of it because it's going to be like 6 to 8 hours enhanced lab session trained by Microsoft employees on these labs. We will have product demo cases, open panel discussion, and many more. So stay tuned for updates. And we will let you know how you could get the most of it. Without further ado, today's session is going to be on more on the interact with apps and web apps using Azure, OpenAI, and speech. Now, I find this really interesting is until now we've been talking about how prompt really works, more of a textual conversation with your copilot. And when you input a text, how do you modify it, how your model reacts. But this time we are going to see how your speech service kind of works. That is exclusively the Azure speech service. And also a little in-depth exploration on the integrating Dynamic 365 CRM and the Power Web Pages. So I'll not reveal much of it unless you view the demo and see for yourself how intriguing these speech services really help and how it's going to be predominating the market going forward. So to talk about this, I have our very own Sujit Kumar, who's a seasonal solution architect with more than 20 plus years of IT experience, specializing in Dynamics CRM, Power Platform, and he also excels in requirement analysis, system design, and the list keeps going on. So, without further ado, Sujit, thank you so much for being on show. Glad to have you in Copilot Chronicles at the Microsoft Reactor. And yeah, the show is all yours. Looking forward for your talk, and we'll catch you at the end of the show.
Thank you, Kamal. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Sujit, you're audible.
Okay, and my screen also visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, welcome, everybody who is watching live and who is watching later on the recordings also. Uh, and thank you very much, Kamal, having me here. Um, AI. Before I am talking about myself about AI, I want to tell something what's happening on our life nowadays. Not our life, especially in my life too. Earlier, as a software engineer, now I feel like that I do have some respect um, from, especially from family. Uh, Nowadays, I'm seeing that, oh yeah, that respect also is coming down. See, because of this pandemic and the new AI technology and the way it is available for all, it's like even my family is thinking like that. When I say my family, even my kids are thinking like that. For doing this kind of work, are you getting paid? This is the kind of response, because they are also well versed about uh, this AI and new technology, what's happening. So this is too much open and too much opportunities, too much flexibility of learning knowledge. Everything is available in now. Uh, so having said that, are you really happy with these technologies? If I ask like that kind of question, probably you say yes, I am happy with this kind of technology. But let me ask another way: are you really happy the way the customer service which you are getting using this technology? Let me tell you a story. Like, I'm looking to buy an product. Say, okay, let's take an example. I want to buy a mobile uh, from an online store product website. So um, I was searching and searching to find out which is right product for me. See, let's assume if we if I ask the same question, one of my colleague who knows this technology well, when I say technology, mobile, different brands and all, well, he can easily suggest what is right to me. And we had such kind of experience. Well, if you go for any places, or if you are planning to travel, or if you I mean you want to explore some food, or you want to look at a good school for your kid, you are looking at a good apartment for your family, you will get nice suggestions and right suggestion from your colleagues than the kind of marketing portals or services available in the market today. So if I go to some of the websites, or some of the e-store websites, some of the real estate websites, some of the school websites, are we really getting the right information which we are really looking for? Sometimes I feel like that even though I'm paying money from my pocket, I am not really getting the kind of customer service which I'm really looking for. It's not like I have to put a lot of effort to find out what is right thing for me. And if you are the same thing to an AI engineer, he can say that I can do this kind of analysis and find out what is right thing for you very quickly from this much information. I can take what all products I have, what is your past history, what is the information. With all those things, I will be able to suggest the right product for you very quickly. So even though that is there, why we are not getting such kind of experiences? Whose mistake is? I totally believe uh, it is our mistake. As a software developer, as an solution architect, as a designer, as a consultant, we all have that kind of responsibility to make or give right experience for the customers. With that said, myself Sujit, as Kamal mentioned, I am actually working as a solution architect, and whenever I get chance to talk discuss with members with creative discussions, I go for such kind of sessions. Most of the sessions will be live, I mean in person sessions. So today we are going to talk about this pain point what I am facing. I am looking for a little bit more better customer experience where I am talking to my organizations. Where, for example, if I'm talking to an hospital, if I'm talking to a real estate, if I'm talking to an online any store, I am looking for a right, real, good customer experience which is tangible or which is actually aligned to the latest technology. So having said that, what is really required? What kind of customer experience can be provided today with the kind of technology which we have? Um, Last week, I saw some products is been already released in US. It is not available in India, um, where we can talk to that product and it will tell us what is right thing for you, just like you are talking to your colleague, right? We are going to that direction where we don't have a UIs. See, we have different uh, level of application development happened since one point of time we had an app which is only very limited feature. Now we having some apps like a lot of if you open mobile you can see a lot of apps which lot of nice feature including bot services, right? You can talk, you can chat to the app, you can actually continuously search it, you see some of the time we will look for the automatic progressive website. Lot of features are available now in app. The what is next, what could be the next? So where these if I am having a mobile, each organization have individual app, and each one is controlling by individual app. So do I really require that many apps? And do I really require to do this much kind of activities to reach to what I am really looking for? So we are going to the such direction. This UI concept can be revamped such a way that we can talk to the apps, we can talk to your website, you can talk to your CRM, you can talk to your um, any devices that will be giving you the response what you are really looking for. And we had such devices nowadays, right? We Amazon Connect and Google. There are a lot of devices which we are using in our um, home, but that same kind of features if I wanted to implement on our websites or in our custom build website or our custom our CRM system or the interface what I am giving to, I'm planning to give to my customer. If I want to make such kind of interfaces, how do I able to achieve? So our my entire discussion is connected to this. If you wanted to do these things, basically what we want three areas, right? One thing is some framework, some support, some software which is required to help me to understand my voice. I can be talking different language too, that is secondary. But otherwise, some system should be able to understand my voice and interpret that voice properly. And once I have the content, this is what actually I am asking for. Once I have that content ready, I can send that content in different AI systems where I'll be having, or that the model which I'm having in behind the scene will be going to help me to provide right information which I'm really looking for. So ultimately, if I wanted to have a product where I am really looking for a functionality of the Apple website which is able to hear me and give me the right information, just like a colleague or just like a friend. If I wanted to have such kind of similar features in my system, In technically, I need one service or supporting system, if I can say this here. It can be anything, it can be a service, it can be library, anything, but I need something which is going to help me to hear and convert that into proper input to my model. So here my model can be anything. It can be a custom built model, it can be a service available in the OpenAI service or any other services. But concept is very clear. It's like we want a service which is supporting my speech and which is support do the speech to text conversion and text to speech conversion. Similarly, which is converting my knowledge into and made my input text into the right response which I'm really looking for. So in my demo and my whatever functionality which you guys are going to see, to support voice and text conversion, I use speech services, and to support my model, I use OpenAI service. Now, to bring all these things together, so as an organization, generally what I wanted to do things quickly, right? It can be done in a scratch development model, like from the scratch. I can build entire thing from the scratch. Otherwise, if you as an organization, I wanted to make it things very quickly, so I can look at some no code, low code platform which is going to help me to integrate all these things together. Okay, so let me take you directly to a demo before we start talking about each of these more components. So this is one simple website. I'm starting a session just to talk to this website. I want to understand some information about this Microsoft Reactor. It's going to help me to give that information. So let me put this ask me. So system is allowing to us to. Okay, so I would like to have some information about Microsoft Reactor. Would you able to help me?
Of course. Microsoft Reactor is a global network of spaces designed for developers and startups to engage, experiment, and build with Microsoft technologies and solutions. Here's some key information about Microsoft Reactor. #### overview. Purpose: Microsoft Reactors are community hubs that provide a space for learning, networking, and collaboration. They are designed to support the developer and startup communities by offering technical sessions, workshops, meetups, and other events. Focus areas: topics often include cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, DevOps, coding languages, frameworks, and more. Activities and offerings. Workshops and training. Hands-on workshops and technical training sessions are a staple of the Reactor program. These sessions are often led by industry experts and Microsoft professionals. Meetups and networking. Reactors host regular meetups, allowing developers and entrepreneurs to connect, share knowledge, and collaborate. Hackathons and competitions. Events such as hackathons encourage teams to build innovative solutions, often with a focus on Microsoft technologies like Azure, Power Platform.
For time constraint, we will come back to this demo for the details. See the kind of interfaces now. What you seen is I could able to ask any question to this website, and especially when I shown that architecture, how it is been done is it's connected to OpenAI now. So whatever I am talking, it's been converted to text, and the text is inputted to OpenAI service, and OpenAI service is doing all the work for me, and it is responding back as a text, and same text is converted to a voice. So this is all our this is basically that entire structure of this entire demo. But now we will go step by step. How do we able to achieve this? What all functionality we can build like this, and how is it going to help you to do this similar thing for your applications? So um, designing. So this is simple an HTML page. You can wrap it in any of the no code low code platform too. So nowadays, if organization is really looking for a website, they are not really looking at everything developed from the scratch using some React, Angular, and all. They we want changes very quickly. So most of the organization now they are looking at no code, low code platform where they can spin things very quickly. So that's where the organizations are moving forward. So in that case, if you are considering Power Platform as a no code low code platform for building your web pages, you can even uh, use one of the component from Power Platform called Power Pages. So if you are using if you already having some background about Power Platform, so whoever don't have the background, just a one liner, Microsoft's no code low code platform solution is Power Platform. It's very simple. I cannot touch the ceiling from here by sitting. If I stand on top of my table, I could able to touch the ceiling. So if you wanted to achieve some functionality, whether it is internal application which is built in your organization itself, if you wanted to make some automation in your organization process wise, and if you want to provide an external website to your customer, these all kind of general business needs can be done with no code low code platforms. So Microsoft no code low code platform is Power Platform. Out of that, we have multiple products like Power Apps. In Power Apps itself, you have Canvas app, model driven apps, you have Power Automate, and you have Power Pages. So uh, if you wanted to integrate this speech service, whatever we shown with AI model and all, there are multiple ways to do in from the Power Platform point of view. But I'm showing one way you can utilize any of this approach. Okay, so in this case, if you wanted to build a Power Pages, you can actually by the way, our session is not limited to Power Pages or speech service or OpenAI. So we are showing a business use case. I want to make sure that you guys get into that mode, like where you understand we can utilize these services in this way, and you can integrate it for the betterment of this customer service, right? So generally, so we will not go too detail into Power Pages. So in this case, I built a very uh, quick Power Pages only for the demo purpose. And you can see this is the studio which will help us to do editing on the Power Page. And if I go to Power Page environment, you can build your website using no code low code platform like drag and drop, and all those functionality you can utilize to build your web page. And especially, okay, let me open the one which is already kept it open. And in your case, we had multiple page. In this Power Page, we have multiple pages we created. So in our case, especially, we are looking at one specific case, which we wanted to integrate our AI service. So uh, in Power Pages, even though you are using no code low code platforms, you can actually do some coding too. That is, it's not only limited to makers. You can actually do professional coding too. So if you wanted to do changes, you can do use Visual Studio on web browser. Here you can open the code. So here I written some code which is going to integrate all these processes together. So I'll make that code uh, very easy readable for you guys. So I'll just take the major functionality out here. So we discussed three things, right? One thing is some system, some framework, some module which is going to understand my voice and convert that into text. So here we had one function which is going to understand my voice. So read voice, just simple function which is going to read the voice. Internally, it is using a speech service. Now, let's coming back to speech service. How do I able to use speech services in different manner? So Microsoft had different Azure services. Right? One of the famous service which we can usually use for the speech conversion, that's called speech service. So it's available in speech.microsoft.com if you wanted to play around, and it's a playground for you. You can actually do without even doing any coding, you can start testing that speech services in this playground. Okay, so the speech.microsoft.com portal, primary functionality of speech services, speech to text and text to speech conversion. It is not limited to that. There are a lot of features you can see. Even you can generate caption from speech. You can do transcripting. You can use live avatar. That's what I used for the showing that avatar too. And you have multilingual. See, if you look at a lot of features are there in speech service, but what I really took out of this is the primary functionality of convert speech to voice and voice to speech. So as I mentioned, you don't really need to go back and do some programming before reaching to this point. You can actually utilize this playground to do the conversion. Earlier I thought it will be the kind of voice modulation and the kind of the way I'm talking, just want to understand how mature this service. But I sometimes I got surprised, it's actually able to um, read while we are real time talking, and it's got really matured in a lot of level where we can utilize this in production kind of applications also. So if you see that, if while I'm talking, it's able to convert whatever I'm talking. It's able to catch even when even I'm just see I'm if I'm telling like that also, it's capturing almost everything what I'm talking. So it is not that you know see I'm purposefully making some of the noise in between, so it is actually even capturing that too, right? So this is the kind of flexibility which we are getting from speech service. So now uh, I wanted to use the service in my application. So what's the best way of doing it? uh, so if you wanted to use any service, there are three options, right? One thing is you can use it as a library, otherwise you can use a service, otherwise you can use its SDKs, all those things. So here, um, this speech services itself is this the studio what you're seeing here, the playground what you're seeing, here itself, it's really helping you to do things very quickly, and you have a GitHub s- code samples too. So in different language, including C sharp and Python, Java, you can write this code in different language too. So it's all supportive informations are available. So you can utilize those information to identify how to write a code for my application. So you have sample code documentation. It's actually a very nice way of um, producing and input information about of a specific service. So in my case, it's not like I did very great thing. I use this entire um, code repository and service, the function, the sample code which is available and the library which is available. I use those things to make the real-time speech conversion. Okay, so this is the starting point. So I got this information from the speech services. Ultimately, I'm using REST service out of speech service, not a library. But in your case, when we are really going for production, we can have SDKs utilized for speech services. Okay, so to make it simple, I use the service and speech SDK. So you are able to initialize that speech service. Once you initialize that speech service, and you will be able to utilize that to convert your voice to text. Now again, while you are creating a speech service, it's generally, as I mentioned, it's your one of your Azure service. So you can actually create your speech services on your Azure portal, and while you're creating it, define which region. That is a little bit important. The thing is, some region you will get some different benefits. So some of the features are available only specific to some region. So go for that specific region according to your need, then create that service for you for your functionalities. Okay. So when you are creating a new speech service, it's simply like it's not a very difficult process. It's very simple, straightforward, just like how you create another speech services. So just create. It will ask you basic information, name, which region you want, and what kind of service you are looking for, and the pricing model. Once you fill it, done. Your speech service will be available for you, and you will have that token to communicate to that. Use that one for your service to be exposed. Okay, so once you have that, you are going to use that for your first conversion portion. So I got my voice converted. Okay, I did it very uh, I mean, scratch coding. It's there is nothing really uh, complicated over here. Just to make sure everybody understand this is that's the only reason it's done like this way. So here, once the speech is converted to text, whatever results I'm getting, it's again going to the next function where I wanted to call an OpenAI service. Now, OpenAI service, as you know, you can expand and customize the way you want, right? It's not limited to the training what you are doing. You can connect to different actions, you can connect different databases, you can connect different knowledge repositories. You have full flexibility of how do you want it to take consider that context and how do you define that model. So here, uh, for that also, I created one OpenAI service model only specifically for this functionality. By the way, this is not really modeled such a way that it will be able to access other databases and other informations and all, but it can simply connect to or expand to the way the way you want. So this the current deployment is being done just with only GPT. So it's not it's again, I wanted to get some answer which is so much generic for our demo purpose. So it's not limited to my organization data or my specific data collection. This one is just the one which I use for the demo is for especially open frame OpenAI service GPT. So it can answer me almost everything what I'm asking according to the GPT 4.0 model. Okay, so this has been used here, and this service again consumed in my code. So what I'm doing is call the OpenAI again, my endpoints, my keys. Okay, all even though um, this entire stuff again, I will not suggest this is the way you need to write for production. Definitely not. This is only for understanding the concept. So you have to use semantic kernel or some of your internal libraries to connect to these services, not this way. But yeah, ultimately we are going to connect to that model. That's the ultimate game of it, right? So I'm calling that OpenAI service. I wanted to pass this input data. So this input data is going to OpenAI service, doing an AJAX call, getting the information. So OpenAI is going to help me. What question I asked, accordingly, it's going to give me an answer. So in case of we asked what is about reactor, right? So it's given me the details about reactor, whatever coming out. Again, I am telling that okay, let us speech it back. I mean, let, let's voice over that content, right? So once the OpenAI respond back the content, again that is sending to another service. Again, it's a speech service, speak the response. So it is actually going to respond back to me the content which I sent. So this is how it is being integrated. Along with that, you can this is basically the heart of the coding. In fact, the code which I used having that avatar too, so you will see a little bit more coding here to do the same functionality. But again, as I mentioned, it's not really tough to do. In fact, the speech service SDKs, and I'm going to upload this entire code into GitHub. Not yet uploaded, but yeah, after this session, I'm going to upload that one. So I'll be sharing this GitHub link, so you can have a look on this code. So you can use Avatar also as part of speech service. So speech service, you have an option to you create avatars. Okay, and see, this is you have an option to create such kind of avatar, and this is what somewhat we were looking. uh, Probably it's a vision, or maybe we can say that in future, if you're going to a bank, okay, or if you're going to a specific organization, you will be probably lot of uh, I mean, comfortable with the agent whom you are talking. So almost that is sometimes that personal touch always gave us a very good feeling. Uh, how we can do it in digital world? See, organizations keeping these many service members to support lot of customers, actually it's really costly, right? It's too much costly, but still, can we make some kind of improvement on that area digitally? Can we bring this member? For example, if I am a customer service member in a bank, or I am a teller in a bank, some can I be a digital form of mine, and that my digital form can talk to my customer, or can my customer talk to me in such a way that they're really almost feeling like that they're talking to me. So in this speech service, we have an option. We can even mimic ourselves. If you wanted to do some voice mimicking, it basic voice mimicking, it will take around 20 minutes of training. If you do that way, you can actually mimic your voice. Similarly, if you give your for different angles of your photo, even you can do your uh, your own avatar. Once you have your own avatar, instead of when I show here um, the sample, instead of uh, the specific lady is talking, it can be you. You can actually mimic yourself in your websites. Just think about the possibility now. Your organization having a customer relationship management, and your customer relationship management, it's exposed. Or if you have an external website, self-serve website using Power Page, and in Power Page you have already integrated this speech services and your OpenAI services, and you connected your organization's models and organization data. See, what's the outcome we are going to get? I'm going to see an organization website where I am going to talk such a way that I'm talking to the individual member of that organization, individual salesperson of that member organization, or my favorite customer service representative of that organization. I'm talking to them, and again, it's going back and collecting inputs and doing some action based on my voice input. I really don't want to, see, assume that the kind of user experience people is getting. So I had a bad experience happen, like where suddenly some issue in my home. I want to take my wife to my uh, nearby hospital. I'm alone. I don't have, even I could not even drive myself. I need immediate help. I was looking at, okay, some friends will be there on the call, and something like that. So but when I try over the call, I was getting, um, see, you are in queue, or not an immediate response at all, right? See, this is the kind of, it's not because of their organization, it's basically because of the IT expenditure, reducing the IT expenditure, all those kind of problems, right? So but if you have this kind of functionalities in place, there is always somebody to hear us. No need to even look for, type it, nothing to do. Just take your phone, open it, and start telling that, okay, I was looking at for this kind of support. Can it be somebody there? Can I book an a doctor immediately? Something like that I can quickly do. So that is the kind of customer experience which we are anticipating, or which we actually could do with the kind of technology what we have. Coming back to our system now, we understand how is we can connect all those things. Now, if you do this similar thing in your power page, you can actually connect. So here I showed you how do you connect using code. Similarly, in power page you can connect using your um, power automate too. So uh, you, if you have some background about power page, how to customize it, you can actually utilize that feature. Here I want to show through code because that is straightforward for you to understand what all possibilities are there. Otherwise we need to go to power automate and how power automate connect to OpenAI, all those process. So simple way of doing it, if you are doing like this, this same approach can be applicable on your custom web page, or your power page, or your mobile app. Wherever you want, similar approach can be applied. But by the way, as I mentioned, it is not, you don't use this direct service URL and all. It's exposed to kind of, it's exposed to everybody. Use your libraries and do proper security mechanism how to control all these services, right? So in this case, you can actually write code for your specific custom page, and whatever you want, you can write that code, and with that code your power pages will be synced, and your app will be available for you to usage. So if I go for a preview, by the way, this power page, it's not been designed for any nice demo purpose. It's just done only for the purpose of showcasing that integration possibilities. Okay, so so you don't see proper company name, proper laying out and all those things. That is all up to the designer, how you wanted to take it. So you can design nicely using all the power page features. You can utilize it for your purpose. So here we have multiple pages, and we have, so same kind of bot where you can actually start talking to this bot and start getting the responses. All right. So it's now, um, this is not limited to your specific. No, this is not limited to what I mean to say, that it's not limited to power pages. You can actually bring this into your CRM. Ultimately, when you wanted to add a web resource, so CRM, Dynamics CRM by default has uh, I'm just checking a time check. Okay, Dynamics by default we had a Copilot enabled. So if you are utilizing Dynamics CRM Copilot, uh, and you wanted to add the functionality of a UI based, I mean, the speech based communications with this kind of avatars. Ultimately, it is as simple as just adding a web resource. Okay, so this entire code, that HTML code, you can take this entire HTML codes, scripts, and you can create a web resource in your dynamic CRM, and wherever you want to place uh, for internal functionality purpose. Especially, it can be utilized if you consider as a business use case. It can be used as a training. If you are onboarding, so usually in call center, what happened is that attrition will be very high, and you will be onboarding a lot of customer services day by day, and so training itself is a long process. So if you are if your organization is running a real estate, if you're running a hospital or a telecom or insurance, they have to go through a specific training process, right? So in that case, who is going to train them? It can be some videos, right? Of course, there will be a videos, previous training and all those things. Instead of that, if they have a avatar like that, which will help them to get trained about what's happening on their organization. By the way, the content which they are coming out and what they are hearing and all those things depends upon our model. We can bring our OpenAI service model such a way that it can trains all the organization based knowledge articles, and if some new customer service agent is coming in, they can talk to this CRM and use that specific CRM training module, and they can actually talk to CRM and get the input and how they wanted to respond to the customer, how do they react to their different kind of questions. All those kind of training can be sit on the CRM. So um, adding a web resource in CRM, it's see it will be going a little uh, out of time. So I will not go till see dynamic CRM level, but people who is hearing this, if you already knows if you already know that dynamic CRM, you will understand what I'm talking about. It's just simple an HTML web resource. Wherever you want in dynamic CRM module, you can add that one and utilize your backend model to make people train. So it can be one of the service module in your dynamic CRM. Second option is, if you wanted to give this your for your end customer, you can actually place this. If you are using Microsoft product as an external websites, you can utilize your Power Pages and expose these services on your web page. Customers can talk to your website. Now, if you have a mobile app which is built in React or Angular or any specific native language, doesn't matter. Still, it is ultimately these all are service, right? So we can utilize this service and start consuming this service for our purpose. So what, where we are going to have an web app or mobile app or a customer relationship system which can talk to you and hear what you are talking and respond back to you on basis of its intelligence, how we are teach the model. With that said, I wanted to open for the questions.
Hey, thanks, Sajid. That was one of the interesting sessions that I've actually seen because until now, as I told you, I keep always looking at the prompt, viewing it, but for the first time, we actually got to see the speech services. So, yeah, this seems to give a kind of an eye opener and let people know that how you could actually use the speech for your own advantage as well as how it could be actually misused as well. So there are two sides of the coin, just like that. So yeah, it is dangerous as well as it is intriguing, and how you can create innovative solutions out of it. So thank you so much for this insight. So Um, so moving on to the question, the first one that I had was like, how do you tackle with local languages?
Okay. That's again interesting question. So um, I was even thinking, I had some demo too. I was thinking whether it can really understand local language. Um, the speech service has the capability to understand local language, specifically Hindi, and even I tried Tamil and Malayalam too. So
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen is, of course, AI is still getting in maturity level, and slowly
Mm-hmm.
it getting more and more maturity level. It's still not that level where we can say that yeah, it is perfect solution. uh, Having said that, even speech itself, now I am thinking about negative aspect of when we are saying we are able to convert any speech. In reality, human beings are not talking in a single language, we are mixing it up. If I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
in my local language, I may use some of the English keywords in between, some of the words in between. That's part of our natural talk, right? But this speech service is not in that level where it can understand all the combination just like human how we are interacting. Having said that, even though it can do a difference of 20-30 percentage, that is
Mm-hmm.
giving a total difference in the market, right? So now
Yeah.
coming back to the technical things, uh, speech service, as I mentioned, it has the capability, it can understand different language, and that multilingual capability is also there. So okay, here it's asking me select a different resource. Basically, the speech service which I selected, the region is not having that capability. But if I select uh, no, of course I need to switch, but otherwise yeah, I'll take the next question, but it's still possible. We have the translation possibilities in here. Oh, so this is video translation. I need to take
So
speech
there
to
is a possibility, but it's not that accurate and not mature enough to.
not mature enough, especially Hindi is far better, but not
Mhm.
other languages. uh,
Oh.
so you can see here, if I wanted to convert this to Hindi, again same code. If so, how do, if I written this if I wanted to have the capability of language conversion, can it be? Yes, uh, you will get this supportive code also. So now I'm going to talk in English. Let me see whether it is able to convert properly into Hindi the way I'm talking. Uh, See, so it's converted that मुझे देखने दो कि क्या रहा है. So it's actually doing. Uh,
Mhm.
but probably I could not say it's 100 percentage, or maybe even 50-60 percentage too. In fact, we want to do opposite, right? I'll talk in Hindi, and then it convert to text. Ideally our model works in English text, so we'll use that as an option. Yep. uh,
Okay,
we'll
then
see.
this kind of brings down to another question. Now, can I go ahead with recorded voices? Is my model or is my agent kind of smart enough to tell, okay, this is not a real human, this is a recorded voice or a recorded file? Uh, so, that kind of filtrations, could this be done? Or is it still?
um, it's see, they basically see, we, as you mentioned earlier, we were all talking about creative approach, and there is a lot of governance has to put it further. But here, this have the capability to get the input from the recorded text. But
Mhm.
ultimately, see, somebody's recorded his voice, and uh, trying to crack this site and give the recorded information. Uh, Ultimately, what is it? It's speech services. It's not for the purpose of controlling what's coming in. It's just like OCR. Okay, we are reading text.
Mhm.
Further control, if you wanted to put for further, it is not speech service. At that percent, speech service don't have that kind of control. But it's just simply seeing that whatever is coming out, it's converting into text. It's just like OCR. It's a, if you're reading a text, it's reading the text whatever is there in the screen. Maybe some labels, extra labels are there in the screen, it will read that too. If you wanted to put a filter on that, we need to train extra custom services such a way that we can avoid that thing. So basically we can customize this speech services models using cognitive services. So then we will end up to have working on the model instead of utilizing the model and start utilizing for our purpose. So possibilities is there, but it will we need extra effort to make it happen.
Okay, great. I think we have one more question from the audience. They say the cost of record transcribe charges are huge compared to LLM API. How many minute of transcribe Azure provide for $1? It's in the comment section. So
Okay, so that's an interesting question. Even I felt like that if I do one demo full session with all my setup, everything, even it cost me 10 to 20 dollars. Okay, um, so that's everywhere we can. I just hope it could be better and better, right? That's only option which we can do now, because we are getting a service which is having these features. uh, if you wanted to give the primary features of speech conversion on is limited to your the business where you are really getting the real outcome of it, that traction we need to do separately. But what I'm trying to say that if we have these services in place, as per the market study what's having all this AI services, everything going to come down by 75 percentage of cost in near future within an year. That's what Gardner is saying. So all this cost is going to come down. Till that time, probably we could utilize it in wherever is really worth to invest.
uh,
So as I mentioned, like ROI, nowadays everybody is looking ROI based AI services, right? So if you see that there's a return on the investment with the speech service, a case study is there, definitely we should go for it because technology is available. Having said that, I am not saying that all online websites which is available should have these speech services. No, but while we are talking, there are a lot of products coming in market which this functionality. There's an app as I mentioned, there's a mobile device, mobile like device. There is no
mhm.
screen, only you can talk to that device, which will give me the all the what information we are getting through mobile. This is available. Somewhat it is not hit in the market well in US, but yeah, that's where the things are going, directions are changing there. So one point of time, this service, when the competition comes, the service will cost will come down. Then what is next, right, in the market? What we will get there? See, ultimately customer experience is means I should able to talk to you, I get response. That's the best way of getting as a feedback from an organization. So we are doing a lot of things today and spending thousands of people spending thousands of hours to get some things. Now if you make a 10% different over there, there are a lot of other benefits coming out. So basically UI, everything is going to change, and this price also going to come down for sure. So,
Definitely,
so
definitely. That's a thought to be given. Going forward, things will not be exactly the way we see right now.
exactly.
It will be more of AI and machines and voice based and less of touch based. And
Mhm.
yeah,
And
so
the training which I mentioned, that is actually implemented some of the organization. Um, so they are not really looking at that money because for the training they have to pay more money than what they are putting in the speech,
indeed,
real
definitely.
training.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true. So yeah, another quick update is that you said you'll share the sample GitHub link. So if you
yep.
could just post it in the comment, I think Rashmita will update it in the comment section. So in the meantime, thank you, Sujit, so much. Thank you, audience, so much for this awesome overwhelming response and looking forward for more Copilot Chronicle series. We do have a lot of series in pipeline with very innovative, very different topics like this. And without further ado, again, just wanted to quick remind of what we are coming next is the Copilot Developer Camp, which is happening in 32 plus cities in person starting October 2nd on Saha Polo. And I'll be sharing the registration link. So if you want to be there in person in any of these cities, um, watch what is the next wave that we have for Copilot M365 extensibility. You can definitely watch out for it. And here's the link for Sujit that you can follow if you have any questions that you've missed out, or you want to talk to him in detail about any of these topics. You can reach out to him on these links. And thank you. Have a great evening. Thank you, Sujit. Thank you, Rashmita, for being a great host. See you in the next episode.
Thank you very much.